And good morning and welcome back to Stager Insights. This morning we have a guest, Devonia Debeck. Welcome. And she is a stager with a real estate license. And so she's going to share her insights with you in terms of how her business is growing and some advice for you in the staging world. So welcome, Devonia.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you. I have been so excited to be a part of this conversation. I got certified by you in 2007. So yeah, and I always remember that my experience with you, I'm like, that Christine, she is top, like she's top class. And I remember just our graduation and how you treated us and how much we learned. So it always stuck with me. It always stayed with me.
And you recently came back online, right?
Yes.
Revisited class. So it was a lot different than 2007.
Yeah, but still the quality was there, right? And just to still appreciate how much knowledge you have. Like people, I am also a member of the Design and Decorating Association, and I'm an ambassador, and I speak to students all over across the country. And one of the things that all of them want to do is stage. Now they get a couple of days of staging, and it's part of another class, and but they realize that they don't really have a real knowledge of staging. So when they ask me where I get my training, I always say you have to speak to Christine, and all the information goes, and the CSP is top notch. So really, that's how I built my confidence. And when I went into staging, I was a realtor at that time, and I didn't know whether I wanted to become a realtor or interior designer. And I didn't know anybody in the interior design business, but my mother was a realtor. So I got my license. But the thing I enjoyed doing was staging people's houses. I'm like, oh, you can't sell the house like this. We got to do something. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to get certified. And I got certified. And then I was so passionate about staging. And all of a sudden the realtors started asking me to do their clients. And I shifted. I do real estate, but most of my time is spent with staging. And so I have my own firm, Debeck Interiors. And sometime in the near future, I think I'm going to franchise a little bit, because there are a lot of great stagers out there, but they don't like the business side, and if somebody can template it for them, they would love to, just do what they love.
Yeah.
But wonderful industry.
And that's really the foundation of the CSP program, is to give them tools and processes to be able to do their work from the beginning.
Yes.
And before we started our session today, I was sharing with you a new student a month ago with her first agent, who's 20 years in the field and already pushing back, saying, no, I don't want to pay this. I'm not going to pay for accessory rental. And when 89% of all the listings that were sold last year were owner occupied, to me, it's an underserviced market. And I find a lot of people come into the industry thinking it's glamorous and it's all interior design and beautiful furniture.
Yeah.
And you and I enjoy the joy of helping people in their current home. Yes. So can you share some insight on that and how you've been able to help your clients?
Well, when I take on a project with a realtor, I realize that I'm building their reputation. So when I keep that in the back of my mind, when I go out to do a job, I want to make the realtor happy. I want to make the seller happy. I'm very careful of how I treat the seller. And a lot of times the sellers are terrified. They're like, oh my gosh, he's coming in to tear my house apart and tell me how terrible. But Christine, you taught us in our training right off the top, when you go in, comment on the picture. Oh, was that a vacation that, where is that? And a little bit of small talk helps them to relax and say, this is a real person. They're not going to come and tear things apart. And the agent hangs around for your first couple of consultations with their client to see how you treat their client. And then they start to relax and they realize that they're in good hands. But remember, your job as a stager, you have so many clients. You don't have just the realtor and just the seller. You have to, your job is also meeting the expectations of the buyer, the listing agent, if they like what they see, you know, the listing agent, the seller's parents and friends, they all have their own agents. And if that agent's not, if you're not happy with that agent, we can recommend someone else. So I always keep in the back of my mind that I have many clients. So whether the job is a small job or a big job, you do your best work and you treat everybody professionally, and it'll go a long way. You'll get referrals from realtors, you'll get referrals and testimonials from the sellers. If the agent allows you to leave some business cards, I've gotten probably a good portion of my business has come from agents who already had stagers. But because of my level of professionalism, because of how I treat their clients, you know, they just, that confidence is there. So they're like, okay, you know, I'm in good hands.
So I find like one of the things I teach in class, as you know, is I give them scripts, and I tell them, of course, part of your role is in building your business is learning the scripts.
Yes.
And I know so many of them don't even think about the scripts until they're actually face to face with a client.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh my God, now what do I have to say, sort of thing. So it's part of real estate life for you to learn scripts.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we didn't have a script for was, of course, COVID, when it hit and the whole world held their breath. And now it's become the norm. So tell us a little bit about what happened for you during that COVID situation, in case we have to shelter in place again.
Yes. You know, well, it's funny because in COVID, you know, your inventory, some of your inventory is out. Sometimes you're having the conversation that, you know, nobody knew what was going to happen, right? So agents are calling you and saying, we may have to keep this longer, you know, and as a stager and running a business, you're always trying to assess, is it time to buy more furniture, or do I have to work with what I have? Yeah. And when COVID happened, I didn't have a lot of excess inventory for the new staging projects. But one thing I will encourage all stagers is find a couple of people in the staging industry, other stagers that you build relationship with. Because when this happened, I needed a sofa, I needed a dining table. And rather than running out and buying one, that wasn't in my buying plan. And also during COVID, you couldn't get things very quickly. You know, if you needed something on a dime, you used to run into HomeSense or a couple of your favorite stores. You couldn't even get in there. They were shut down, etc. But you wanted to take advantage of this opportunity. So I had another girlfriend who was in staging as well. And I phoned her and said, I need a sofa. I need a dining table. I've got a project with a client. I don't want to say no. Can you do the main floor and I'll stage the upstairs level, and we'll split this fee right down the middle. And she said, I'm there. And so during COVID, any projects that I didn't have enough inventory for, I called her up. We split all the projects. In fact, I made more money by doing that, because sometimes you get the money and you spend the money on inventory. Well, with COVID forcing me to come up with new solutions, I didn't spend any money out of pocket. Plus I couldn't buy anything because things weren't open. And I made more money by splitting a project and sharing the inventory and sharing the project. So I love that COVID really forced us to think out of the box and really help our agents stay profitable, help our agents stay committed and being able to commit in front of their clients, and help our business to thrive and still make money, even in the crazy time of COVID.
In a crazy market. I know. And it's like when I'm teaching about building teams within the session, and you make more money when you have a team and you can do more projects. I do find what COVID did was help people understand that you can't do everything yourself. If you're actually building a business as opposed to just creating work for yourself.
Yes.
And if you are in a business, then every job has to be profitable. But I think it also was a time retrospectively for people to say, okay, I really have to increase my inventory if I'm going to be able to do this on a longer term basis or a broader term basis.
Yeah.
So let's find out about wholesale, because a lot of the wholesalers did have products.
Yeah.
Was getting access to them. So a lot of them went even more into the virtual world. We've done tours of wholesalers and, put them in our resource center. But it's amazing. Like, they're excited because they're able to invite, their clients in and give them a window on the world that they have. So it's really changed a lot of things. I know Stages did do remote consultations,
Yes,
and accessory packaging,
yeah,
curbside drop-offs, things like that.
yeah,
It was quite interesting and innovative, like you said.
Uh,
Where are you located, Devonia?
I live in Oakville area, but my market, I tend to do Mississauga, Milton, Oakville, and probably more West Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's Ontario, Canada,
Yeah.
for those of you who are listening from the US.
Yes.
So, you and I think, had a similar experience in that it never gets old when you're absolutely wowing your clients. So what sort of advice or insight can you give from all the many years that you've been working in the field to somebody who's new, who's even just somebody who's thinking about coming in to the staging industry? What would be your advice?
When you meet people, they don't know how much or how little experience you have. And I have found that enthusiasm gets me jobs more so than me telling them I've done these 27 jobs or what have you. They want to see your energy and enthusiasm. And if you can sell them on enthusiasm and energy and talk about staging and your passion for staging, you will land more jobs because they like you as a person. Yes. They feel that you're going to be a great person in front of their clients who are nervous and am I going to sell quickly? And you pump them up as well. You'll be surprised at how many agents, are relying on you as the stager. I have gone into consultations and walked through the house with the clients and said, okay, so I'll see you in a couple of weeks. And as I'm closing the door, I hear the agent in the kitchen say, okay, so let's sign the contract now. So they haven't even gotten the buy-in from their seller. And because of your enthusiasm and personality and how you treat the client and all that, they're relying on you to help them close a deal. So, I say use that in your toolbox when you are going out and speaking to agents and saying, look, sometimes it's difficult to close a deal with a seller, and maybe you might want to pay for me to come in and do the consultation ahead of time as part of your VIP service, and let's close that deal. Let's close that loop with the seller. It's, it says a lot.
Investment.
When I can
investment. I think really, like so many sellers, agents fall into the same trap, in a sense, of thinking of money going out as a loss instead of thinking of it as a service that's going to actually make money. And it's not making money just for the seller, it's making money for the agent as well. With a ripple effect to that.
Absolutely. It's funny because when an agent stages a property and people come in and see that property, they already have an up level, an elevated feel about that agent. It could be your very first project as an agent. Nobody will know, but when they come and see it staged and presented well, and along with their feature sheets, sometimes buyers go out with agents and they haven't even committed to that agent yet. But when they come and see how you've presented the property, they already think you're an agent who is very successful. So, that's another, when you're talking to your agents, I'm helping to build your reputation.
That's right.
And also their colleagues think they're very successful. Oh my goodness, they're paying for staging. They must be very successful, right?
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, that's really great insight. And I so appreciate you taking time this morning to be with us. And I look forward to watching your business grow even more than it is.
Yes.
And anytime you want to come back, I'd love to have some more insight from your angle.
Oh, I'd love to, Christine. You're top notch, and I think even when you've got your training, stay connected with Christine, because the more we can elevate this industry, the more credibility it brings to the CSP, your designation, and strengthens the staging market as a whole. So, Christine, you're awesome.
Oh, thank you, Devonia. You're awesome too.
Thanks so much.
All right, have a
Christine.
wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye.